Is it running? Okay. Well, hi, welcome to the Portland Swap Mate. This is Portland, Oregon. And I'm just going to give an overview of what I do. In other words, the products that I sell. So this is an opportunity where I'm going to have the work sharp products, the knife sharpeners, and also some pinstriping supplies. So you can see the overview of the booth, you know, sort of see how I laid it out here. And yeah, it's a good show. I do this every year. Okay, so what we're going to do here first is show off the knife sharpener briefly. And so we have several models, but they're a motorized unit. They have these little sanding belts that are used to do the work in different grits, a coarse, a medium, and a fine. Now, you'll see plenty of my other videos on YouTube, so I'm not going to get into how to sharpen a knife. I'm just going to do a quick overview on one, but I want to show off the products. Okay. So come on in a little bit here, and over here on the left, actually you're right, is the one that includes a case and a honer. It's a ceramic crock stick honer. This is handy when you're out in the woods, away from electricity, or out in a lake or something like that, to bring the edge back. This is called the field model. It retails at normally $140. I sell it for $110 at these shows. So if you're interested in knowing the price, that's what it is. It also includes that bag over there and some extra belts. So it comes with 9 belts, and it runs off a 110 volts, or of course you can plug it into a 100-watt inverter, and it runs just fine that way off your truck or your boat or car or whatever you got. Okay, so very good. And then over on the other side, this is the basic model. This is one I mainly sell. It's the same exact sharpener. There's no difference in the sharpener itself, but it does have 6 belts, so 3 less belts, and it doesn't have the bag or the honer, but both models include your user guide, your video, and a 1-year warranty. These are great products. They're made up in Ashland, Oregon, a USA product, 100%. This is the same company that makes the Drill Doctor, which I also sell at these shows. The company's famous for that. So that's for handling your drill bits and all that, and it works really great. Okay, I'm going to do quickly a little demonstration on a knife, and then we'll go on over and I'll show you about pinstriping. So we've got this knife here. It's an outdoor knife, a folding knife. I haven't sharpened this at all. It's a customer's knife. Let's see how it's cutting. Well, that's pretty terrible. It just tears the paper, so it's not doing a good job. Okay, so what we do in this case is we look in the book. The book is good, the video is okay, but the book's going to show you the sections on different knives. Outdoor knives would be this section we're applied here, section 5, step 1. So that's the red 220 grit belt and the outdoor knife guide. I'm going to put a fresh one on here to get started. This goes over the pulleys, real easy to do. And then we release, and there you go. And we drop the knife onto the belt and pull it across 5 times like this. Okay, so we did the left side of the knife, and we look on the right for a burr. Very important. I don't see it. There's a tiny bit of a burr there. And then we switch sides. This is step 3 in the book. We do 5 passes on the right shoulder, and looking, there's our burr. It sprung up. There's some damage in the knife. There's a nick there, and it doesn't quite extend into the tip. These are things you look for. So get a light so you can see these things. I'm going back and repeating the left side of the knife, another 5 passes, cycling the motor on and off, as you notice, and holding it up against this shoulder on the right. Okay, now we've got our burr pretty even. There are still 2 nicks in there, a tiny one here and a tiny one up there. And over to the right again. Another 5. Okay, and a beautiful burr all the way down. I'm going to call that good because I don't see the nicks anymore in the blade, and there's an even burr on this left side. Good. So essentially what we did is section 5, steps 1, 2, and 3, and went back to 2 and back to 3 and so on. So we repeated 2 and 3 a few times. Now we get to go on to step 4, my favorite part. We switch over and go over to this honing belt. It's 6,000 grit. It's called micro mesh. It's very soft. It's the same material used to polish the canopy on the F-16, so it's sort of a high-tech stropping belt. It's soft. It's like a leather strop, essentially. Okay, and so we put that belt over there. And then we take the knife, drop it in, and go left and right, and left and right, and left and right. This is a back and forth thing. That takes the burr away. It's gone now. And then we continue. Now the book says do 10 of these, so there's number 9, there's number 10. You can always do a few more. Good idea. The more you strop a knife, the sharper it gets. This is just like the old days where you take your Bowie knife and your Arkansas stone, work the left side to get the burr on the right, work your right side to get burr on left, and then you take a belt, boot, or saddle, any piece of leather, and strop the knife left and right, and that'd take the burr off, and then you'd head down to the river and shave with your Bowie knife. This is the old way of doing things 100 years ago, and it still applies today, and it's essentially how we do things here. So we finished this knife, and there it is, cutting like a razor. It wasn't cutting before, it's cutting both with and against the grain. Any way you want to cut the paper, it's cutting it fine. And then one more strop, because we just dulled it slightly by cutting paper. And that's essentially how you do it. And I've explained the two models. So there you go, there's the options. And then of course with anything that I sell in the Sharpeners, you get access to my website where there's plenty of advanced training videos, and you see my show schedule, and we stay in touch. So that's a little bonus that I give to my customers. Okay, so I'm going to move us over to the other side of the table here, next table down. So come on down. Now down here is something unusual. I sold these products for many years, over 30 years, maybe 35 years. This is called pinstriping. Pinstriping is traditionally done with striping brushes, and you know, they use a brush to put paint on a vehicle. It could be an old classic car or a hot rod or a Harley. It could be decorative painting on furniture, things like that. It's an old carryover of carriage striping, which was done for many hundreds of years on all kinds of coaches, carriages, wagons, and things like that. But this is actual paint. I'm using here something a little more unusual. It's a tool used in commercial and factory use and body shop use and production line work. It's called the Bugler pinstriping tool. The banner back here sort of shows a little bit about it, overview. This product's been around for almost 80 years. It's an American-made product, extremely high quality, family-run business, comes with a lifetime guarantee. Basically, you have a barrel that holds paint, and you want to use a good, excellent paint. This is called the one-shot lettering enamel. This is what pros like to use, and that's what I recommend. And you load the paint into the barrel, and then you choose a stripe size. There's different sizes for this, and you pull the tool like this. You roll it out, laying out the stripe. I'm going to briefly show you the overview of this. You practice your straights, you practice your tapers. By the way, this is all in the training video that comes with it. Your tips, your matching where you go between ends, and your curves where you turn the wrist, like this. And then those are the basic ingredients for all freehand. I explain this in the DVD that comes with the tool. And then your curves and tips, all this combined, will give you a design. This is a flame. Okay, and I'm just leaning to get the taper and turning the wrist, and there's your flame. Another real neat feature of this is that it has a system of guides, so you can lock and follow an edge and keep the stripe exactly where you want it, and put your lines, for example, on some kitchen cabinet doors, a roll-away, toolboxes, things like this. And there you go, really neat, you know. So anyway, it's the Bugler pinstriping tool. I have these for sale. You'd have to contact me by phone to get one. I don't carry any information on this on my website. So, but if you're interested, they vary in price from a low of $90 on up to a high of $399 with 17 heads. This is a full production set with everything you'd need to run a business. And keep in mind that pinstriping earns you between $100 and $500 an hour. It's one of these things that not too many people do, and you can get a good price for it. Okay, so and over here, of course, is the brushes. I carry the entire line of the Kafka striping brushes and lettering quills, and then I carry some Mac brushes and all the supplies that stripers use. So that's kind of neat. Okay, so there you go, guys, and thanks very much for watching the video, and see you down the line.